Worst night ever. Well, it all kind of started a week ago. Well, not really. I got to hang out with Mr. Wickham, and that was so fun. And he sat by me, and everyone was playing a game, but he was really just talking to me. And he told me about the fallout between him and Mr. Darcy. And first of all, let me just say that I hate Mr. Darcy even more now. So unagreeable, so prideful, and just, like, I completely understand. And Mr. Wickham was being so nice about everything, like, anyways, I won't get into that now. But, so, after that, like, the day after that, we get a visit from Mr. Bingley and his two sisters. And, he invites us to the ball at Netherfield, which, of course, we're all excited for. And right after we get the invitation, I'm like so excited because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to dance with Mr. Wickham, and we'll get to be better friends or whatever. And so I'm like talking to Mr. Collins about it, and he's like, I'm like, are you gonna go to the ball? And he's like, yes. And I was like, oh god. And then he was like, or I was like, are you gonna dance? And he was like, of course, I want to dance with all my cousins. And I was like, ew. Anyways. So then, guess what happens? The next 4 days, it rains. Solid rain. Can't go to Maryton. Can't hear about the officers. Can't do anything. We're cooped up inside. And all of our expectations are building. We're just waiting for the ball to come on Tuesday, where we get to just dance, and so excited. And so Tuesday finally gets here, and I get ready extra good. Like, I don't think I've ever spent so much time primping, and just because I'm excited and I want to see Mr. Wickham. And so finally get to the ball and open the doors, and I'm like scanning the redcoats frantically, like looking through all the officers, like, where's Mr. Wickham? And it didn't even ever occur to me that he wouldn't be there. And so then me and Lydia go and talk to our friend Denny, and he's like, Mr. Wickham isn't here, he went away on business. And then he said, quietly, like, yeah, because of Mr. Darcy or something like that. And I was like, I knew it. I was furious, because that totally ruins everything. Like, everything that I've been looking forward to obviously can't happen now. So then, right after that, I get to rebound to Mr. Collins and dance with him the first 2 songs, which was like an hour. And after that, finally I get to sit down with Charlotte, which was awesome because I hadn't got to see her all week, and I just ranted to her about all the stuff that's been going wrong with my life. And then guess who walks up? Mr. Darcy. Before I know it, I've agreed that I'm going to dance with him. So, we danced, and it was just awkward. Like, I didn't want to be with him, and we tried to make a little conversation. I was being kind of rude to him, but he deserved it. And he wanted to talk about, like, books, and I was like, we obviously do not have anything in common. Like, I was like, I'm trying to find out what your character is, and he was like, don't judge me, and blah. So then that was finally over, and I went back to talk to Charlotte, and then I ran into Miss Bingley, and she was like, I heard you found out about why Mr. Darcy and Mr. Wickham don't get along. And she tried to, like, spin it around and make Mr. Darcy the hero and Mr. Bingley the villain. And it was obviously because she is in love with Mr. Darcy that she could never see anything wrong with him at all. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Then the night carries on, and then all of a sudden Mr. Collins realizes that Lady Catherine is of relation to Mr. Darcy, so of course he has to introduce himself to Mr. Darcy. He made a complete fool of himself. And then I overhear Mom yelling about how Jane and Mr. Bingley are gonna be married, impending marriage, and I was like, oh my gosh, could you embarrass yourself anymore? Like, this is ridiculous. Then, to top it off, Mary starts playing a song, and she's not that talented, so it's just awkward, and everyone in my family is just doing things that are just so embarrassing, and I just can't handle it, and it was just such a horrible night. But that's all for now. Bye.